Hey guys, Tkash here, welcome back to my channel where it's all horror all the time, and welcome to episode 5 of Vampyr, where I made things a bit more difficult on myself than strictly necessary by inadvertently skipping through a certain piece of dialogue containing hints as to your next step. But no matter, did just enough reading up to know what it is I'm supposed to be doing. Turns out my initial hunch was correct. Hang on, what are you guys even doing in my hideout? I was not prepared for that. Now, I don't know if that was just lucky, concerning I'm at level 9, and that was a level 14 dude just there, but I like to think I'm seeing a bit of progress where combat is concerned. See, what I'm thinking is, everything related to this quest might be in the immediate vicinity, but what I really want to be doing is make my way back to the hospital, because apparently people's health conditions affect the overall district health and whole socio-economic goings on, if you catch my drift, anytime you save. So what I'm kind of hoping and counting on is for this quest to lead back to the hospital eventually, where I can go ahead and cure some people, maybe pick up a few more side quests, or get a sense of the, world building going on. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at right now. Oh shit, they called for backup, didn't they? Huh. Yep. Things are finally looking up after all. Ah, our guy's looking much better now.
How are you, boy?
I'm not your boy, all right? Now piss off.
All right, calm down, friend. Nah, I'm pretty sure we exhausted all these guys' dialogue options.
Goodbye, young man. Good evening, Benjamin. Can I help you?
I'm afraid not, Mr. Reed.
A gun, alcohol, and a bad temper make a terrible cocktail, sir. Goodbye for now.
Yeah, nothing new here either. So, Darius, what have you been up to exactly? Alright, so this is the place. Any trail or scent or anything I can pick up maybe? Not from the looks of it. Hang on, here we go.
A strange man was at the door with a pass for our medical facility. I refused him entry.
Darius, how could you know he didn't need our help?
His clothes were too finely tailored to be for Whitechapel.
Perhaps just a friend of that stray poet who is always about.
Richard Nethercott? No, not of the same cloth, this man. I suspect some machination from that journalist.
Clayton Darby. Is he still asking questions?
Yes. I saw him drifting around St. Mary's Church. I swear he is tracking me just downwind.
Ah, now how do we find out where that is?
I must talk to that journalist or the poet. They must know about Darius. Nearby the...
Ah, there we go.
church they just mentioned.
So hang on, let me check. Is that 2 markers for the same quest? Yeah. 1 for each guy then.
Welcome, sir. Please, take a browse of my wares.
I am Dr. Reed. I would like to ask you a few questions, if you don't mind.
Doctor? Interesting. I'm Barrett Lewis. Usually I don't have time to waste with talk, but at this hour of the night I can hardly refuse.
Yeah, let's maybe check out what he's carrying,
then.
first of
Show
all.
me what you have.
Alright, so a bunch of both weapon parts and medicinal ingredients then. Which is good to know, just a bit of a shame that whenever I'm not at a workbench the game won't tell me what goes where. As in, which ingredients I need for what? Come back here, I wasn't finished with you.
Fancy buying something, sir?
You never lose your focus, do you? Have you heard of a nurse called Dorothy Crane?
Nurse Crane. So the bitch really is a nurse, then? Always thought she was just some crafty foreigner, that one.
Yes. Those bloody immigrants should know their place, eh? How dare they do a better job than the lazy natives of this land?
Dorothy Crane ain't even a real name. Something like Dorothea Craniu. Something like that. Came to England fleeing the war, I was told.
That doesn't explain why she irritates you so much.
Your precious Nurse Crane gives away medical supplies and prescriptions for free. I offered to sell it for a fair cut, but no. Miss Crane wanted to play the quiet saint.
How is business around here?
Business? I have no business. Between this racket, theft, and customers getting scared, I'm losing money every day.
I see. Sounds like you blame someone in particular for your situation.
It's no secret Joe Peterson spends his time harassing merchants. But with me, he's trying to put me out of business once and for all.
As a merchant, you see Whitechapel every day. Have you noticed anything out of the ordinary recently?
What you mean, besides the epidemic, the war, and all the usual crap? As long as I can remember, this part of town has been a bottomless pit, and no sign of the bottom yet.
Violence is increasing in the borough.
Yeah. A few nights ago, some blokes jumped me. Came out of one of the condemned workshops. Fever, madness, something like that.
Where did this happen? Why did you go there?
In the closed workshops nearby. I worked there as an apprentice in better days. Now I only go to find trinkets or tools. Too bad I was mugged, though. There was good money in that little box of loot I lost.
Have you been hurt?
No, but that's only because I ran like hell. Those men were raving lunatics, I tell you. Not even able to speak anymore, just screaming.
Goodbye for now, Mr. Lewis.
Alright, let's go ahead and see if maybe we can retrieve that box of his. While we're on our way. Hang on, I don't think I'm going about this the right way. Hint locked. Alright, yeah, I think I found it. Barrett Lewis, the bitter street merchant of Whitechapel, told me some frenzied inhabitants in some old condemned workshops attacked him while he was looting the place for trinkets and tools. He had to drop his package to escape the assault and would like to retrieve the box. Maybe I should go and see for myself what is going on in those abandoned buildings. Now, how much do you want to bet? Those buildings aren't all that abandoned, per se. Let's go in and try and track that on the map.
I know it's hard to believe, but this district has always been wretched. Don't let your guard down.
Hello, young man. I'm Dr. Reed, and I would like to ask you a few questions. May I enter, please?
Sorry, no, sir. My father does not like people entering our house, you see.
Your father is worried about you, boy. He asked me to look for you.
So my father actually worries about me then? Okay then.
Come on in. I'm Harry, by the way.
Is there only pain and suffering in this world?
So, may I ask you a few questions?
I'm not bothered. What could be worse?
Do you know Nurse Dorothy Crane from the Pembroke Hospital? I'd like to know more about her.
Yes, I know her. She came here to examine me when I was very sick. She said I should go out more.
How do you feel?
I'm fine. I mean, it's not easy every day, but I'm fine. I'm just tired of being sick all the time. If only I could be tough like... well, you know.
Speaking of which, what can you tell me about your father?
My father is an idiot who makes idiot things. That's all I have to say.
Forgive my bluntness, young man, but you don't seem happy living in Whitechapel.
Why should I? I never wanted to come here in the first place. It was my father's decision. And look around you. Does this look like a nice place to live?
You have a roof over your head, a place to call home. Many people here are not as lucky, you know.
That's exactly what my father says. Harry, you should be grateful for what you've got. But I wasn't even consulted when we moved here.
If life here is so terrible for you, why don't you just leave this place? Have you ever spoken to your father about it?
I don't go outside. It terrifies me so. I went outside once without my father noticing and I saw terrible things. Bloody and frightening things.
So that's why you stay at home all day? For fear of the epidemic?
I'm not afraid of disease or death, Dr. Reed. It's the living I'm afraid of.
Goodbye, young man. Take care of yourself.
Even my dreams are soaked with gloom.
Nah, don't think I want to go around glitching the guy's home. He seems to be having a hard enough time already. Just trying to see if he's got maybe like a workbench around here somewhere. Oh well. So where was I?
Even my dreams are soaked with gloom.
Looks like trouble up ahead. See if I can find some cover here, or better yet. God damn it, I'm not entirely sure what that guy's spraying me with, but I'm sure it's bad news. Damn it. So let me go and check something real quick. See, I was under the impression I had like two different tiers, if you will, of health serums, but it turns out one of them is actually a blood serum, which should really come in handy right about now. I'm tapping T like a madman over here. I'm not sure why that's not working. Maybe I need to be in combat to make use of those. Guess there's only one way to find out. Large beast, I'm pretty sure that's that thing from last night. Not really looking forward to another confrontation with those. Except I don't seem to have much choice in the matter. Now, last time I ran into one of these things, the scythe came in quite handy. But I managed to pick up an even better two-handed weapon since then. Let me see if I can take this thing by surprise. Level 10 shouldn't be all that bad after all. Guess I should really work on timing my blood ability attacks a bit better. 'Cause that was just a waste, really. So what just happened? Did I accidentally use the wrong serum there? God damn it, I did, didn't I? Could have sworn that was T I'm pressing, but hey. Right, that's what I was really after. Still having a bit of trouble switching weapons outside of combat. Can't spring up there. Right, hang on. Here we go. 4 of them now. God damn, what have I got myself into? Woefully ill-prepared once again. Ah, damn it, Gabe. Should be getting pretty damn close by now. Wait, this is where I fought the thing earlier, isn't it? Quest markers disappeared from my map. What's this guy's story again? An old condemned workshop. Right, yeah. Looks about right to me. Unless... yeah, I guess that makes sense. I'm thinking I just need to defeat this last guy. And then, of course, he's going to be the one carrying the box we need. Ah, god damn it already. Hang on, now just how far did that set us back? Oof. Quite a bit, actually. And I'm in trouble again already. Christ. Like, I can live with having to get used to the whole combat system and everything, but that's like 10 minutes of progress down the drain right there. Damn, this thing is harder to dodge than it looks. I'll be taking your blood now, sir, please and thank you. Just in time, too. Oop. There goes my sneak attempt. Damn it, can't even heal in peace. Are you kidding me right now? I must be out of my element here. Damn it, dodging that stream of goo just takes so much endurance. I'm not having fun over here at all. Damn. You and I are not going to get along very well at all, are we, game? Yeah, you know what? With me being as out of my element as I am,
soon the time will come when you will all be judged.
Let's go for the more social approach.
Even now, he...
Forgive my interruption.
Do not apologize, my son. Father Tobias Whitaker is always happy to teach mortals about the incoming Armageddon.
I am Dr. Jonathan Reed, and I just have a few questions.
A scientist? You are much more lost than I thought, my son.
Ah, goddamn! I instantly dislike this guy already.
Do you know Nurse Dorothy Crane from the Pembroke Hospital? I'd like to know more about her.
I don't like the liberal ideas of nurses, but I especially abhor that Nurse Crane you mentioned.
So, you're not exactly a fan of Florence Nightingale's work. But nurses are essential for modern healthcare.
Nuns should be the only women allowed to take care of male patients. It's obvious only they have the necessary moral fiber.
Why do you hate Nurse Crane more than other nurses?
Before coming to London, she was a member of the communist resistance in her country. That's what happens when you let a woman get involved in politics.
What do you mean when you say that I am more lost than you thought?
All scientists are entangled in a world of causes and consequences, and most of them can't see the plain truth.
Quite a judgmental opinion, if you ask me. But what do I know? Blinded by science as I am.
I was
You are seeking
gonna say the exact
answers,
same
aren't you?
thing.
Answers about the Armageddon about to strike the city. Answers about the hidden truth.
Well, not really, but since you brought it up.
Well, I suppose I can spare a few minutes listening to your so-called truth.
As a doctor, you must be aware of the decimating epidemic. But let me tell you that this so-called Spanish flu is just the beginning of the end.
What do you mean?
The beast is finally revealing itself, corrupting the flesh and the heart of men. With my own eyes I have seen them, those minions from the abyss.
Really? And what would be your answer to this biblical threat?
We must fight the disease before this legion outnumbers us. But not with scalpels and microscopes. No.
What is left then?
Cleansing fire.
Tell me, Tobias, what exactly is your plan concerning the cleansing of this city?
God will recognize his own. More than once this city has risen from the ashes, hardened and purified by the flames.
Purification by fire has proved useful, but where do you stop? Burn the clothes? The buildings? The corpses? Worse?
Your lack of faith is predictable. But my task is to convince rational minds like yours to see the light. This is God's will.
You're mad and dangerous. You're nothing but a soulless butcher. A small-time Torquemada.
Ha!
The Savonarola of Whitechapel.
My son, if you think salvation is a free gift, go listen to the lies of that pompous fool, Joseph.
Joseph, a fool.
Vicar Larrabee of St. Mary's Church. While he continues preaching his fraudulent redemption, more and more people die in the streets.
Wait, hang on. Did we not already discuss this bit yet?
What do you mean when you say that I am more lost than you thought?
All scientists are
Quite a...
but you are
Yeah.
I am. But the answers I seek are based on facts, not superstition. Have you any friends? Any family left in these terrible times?
No. But I have a disciple I see as my son. He is so devoted. I send him to preach the good word in the heart of this corrupted city.
Where did you send him?
I sent Samuel to the Stonebridge Cemetery, where the pestilence and evil grows night after night.
You sent him on some preaching crusade during the epidemic.
As a true believer, Samuel will fear no evil while he walks through the valley of the shadow of death.
Man, just fuck fanatics like
I have
this.
heard enough for tonight. Goodbye.
Not sure you want to go in there, mate, seeing as who the place is run by.
Excuse me, sir. Are you familiar with this part of town? Name's Clayton Darby, reporter.
Sorry, I'm new to Whitechapel. But perhaps you could help me since you're a journalist. My name is Jonathan Reed.
Dr. Reed, the famous surgeon. I'll gladly help if I'm able, sir.
Have you any idea of the danger you face in these streets at night?
I've had to run and hide more than once from frenzied mobs incensed by the fever. Do you think the flu is really responsible for this, Doctor?
I must confess, some of my rational views have been shaken by recent events.
I'll remember to stay away from the district's roughest streets then.
What is a journalist doing in this borough after sunset?
He goes where none of his colleagues would dare to go, to inform the country.
So you risk your life to reveal the truth. I saw many reporters do the same during the war.
Whitechapel is the crucible of so many untold stories and tragedies. I want people to know them.
That's quite honorable of you. But is the public interested?
Not at all, sir. And that's why I'm an independent journalist, hoping to sell some stories.
Do you need assistance?
That would be nice of you, Doctor. Who knows what I may have caught during my investigation.
If you persist in investigating the most pox-ridden boroughs of London, you must accept the risks.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, this guy seems like a good source of information we might want to keep around.
Why are the newspapers keeping silent about the Spanish influenza? It's as though none of you care.
There's a war going on. People shouldn't be demoralized by news of deadly diseases.
It's a disgrace. People are left to die alone. No one is properly informed of the risks.
These are bad times indeed. So much for the glorious British Empire.
I heard you're investigating an underground medical dispensary in Whitechapel. What do you know about it?
Not much, I'm afraid. They are wary of strangers, and I'm not really an acquaintance of theirs. Why do you care?
I'm a doctor, Mr. Darby. I care about everything involving public health and this epidemic.
Are you sure you're not just concerned about the repercussions that a scandal involving a certain Nurse Crane from the Pembroke Hospital would bring?
Without a doubt, you are a damn fine journalist, Mr. Darby. What do you know of her accomplice, a man named Darius?
I don't know much about the man. He's very cautious, never goes out, doesn't seem to have any friends or family.
He has no relatives at all?
No, except for that strange man, a poet named Richard Nethercott, who sometimes comes by. Darius would never let him in.
Where can I find this Mr. Nethercott?
He spends most of his time lurking around Whitechapel, talking to himself or declaring verses. These days, you can usually find him behind the church.
Well, that's convenient.
He never goes out?
No. A few days ago, he unexpectedly did. I followed him, but it was just a ruse to keep me away from his house.
Really? How do you know?
He went to the nearest mailbox, but just before posting his letter, he ripped it up and threw it away.
Goodbye, Mr. Darby. Farewell.
Let's see if there's anything in the quest description that goes into a bit more detail as to where this mailbox is. Or it could just be marked down the map already, which seems to be the case. Really not liking this shortage of blood I'm dealing with right now. You know what? These serums seem cheap enough to make. And once again, I can't seem to be able to inject them outside of combat, which is a bit bullshit if you ask me. Stay at home. Influenza, frequently complicated with pneumonia. To prevent any case of Spanish flu, stay at home. So where do we go from here? Because that looks like a bit of a red herring. A small flower bouquet with a voucher for a free medical checkup hidden between the flowers. Ah, this seems to be the very same message we came across last night. Not gonna bother reading that out loud again if you don't mind. Here we are. Darius Petrescu's letter. My dearest, most beloved children, I am so sorry you have not heard from me for a few months. The situation in London has been difficult. I know it may sound selfish and silly when you, my children, are still living in a country consumed by war. But there is also a war going on here in England. A war against poverty and against injustice. This is a war I intend to fight despite my advanced years. This is why I am writing to you today. I won't be coming back to Romania. That probably means I won't see you again before I die. Don't be sad, my darlings. You are grown up now, and you have children of your own. You know the sacrifice we sometimes must accept to make the world a better place. This is one I must make now, to feel useful one more time. I wish you a long and happy life. Kiss my grandchildren for me, and remember that your father loves you all the way from this cold, damp country. I am, as ever, your loving father, Darius Petrescu.
The content of Darius' letter to his children could give me more leverage to enter.
Could it, though? Because I mean, that's touching and all, but not quite sure how that fits into the grander scheme of things. I'm just gonna go in and inspect one more of your bouquets.
Good evening, miss. I'm Dr. Reed. I'd like to ask you a few questions. I know what you're thinking. A tall stranger who meets a girl in the street at night. It reeks of the penny dreadfuls. But I mean you no harm, truly.
Alright. This might be a bit difficult.
I know you understand what I'm saying. Your silence has nothing to do with you being mute, does it? Melia, I know you work for Dorothy Crane. Please tell me about her secret dispensary. A stubborn and mute comrade. Nurse Crane and Darius Petrescu have been clever.
So it might very well be genuine after all then.
Very well. Goodbye then.
Another identical flower bouquet.
It's locked.
Alright. Maybe try the other way around then, but I doubt things are gonna be that easy. Or do I go through the church? Quarantine influenza. Keep out of this area by order of Board of Health. Health officer. Let's go ahead and try and pick up the pace just a little bit, shall we? Now let me guess, between me and Mr. Nithergott, there's gonna be at least a handful of people who don't quite see things my way. Am I right? Wouldn't you know it? It's a trap! Just a piss poor amount of blood I got from that guy. Guess you're just gonna have to make up for it, pal. Nothing personal. Behind the church, mumbling to himself. I guess he fits the profile.
Good evening, sir. I'm Dr. Reed. I would like to ask you a few questions.
Please be my guest. Although I may not be the best informant regarding this part of town, my words speak about that which the eyes cannot see.
Really? Are you an artist of some kind?
I'm a poet, sir. Richard Nethercott, at your service.
May I ask what you're doing at this hour of night, sir? Do you live here?
Not at all. I'm just enjoying the pleasure of a quiet walk. Though night talks are always preferable, if you ask me. Especially with strangers.
But are you not afraid of the epidemic?
Oh, why should I? I see some equity in the Spanish flu. No flesh should be saved, say the scriptures. Good or evil, rich or poor, all are equal in the eyes of the flu.
If you say so. But as a physician in a time of epidemic, I must caution you to avoid unnecessary exposure, sir.
Thank you, Doctor. But we both know the seeker of truth has to go boldly where the weak dare not.
Well, alright, just don't say I didn't try and warn you.
Do you need medical attention, sir?
It may be wise to let you prescribe me something. I don't feel like I should.
I understand your appetite for words and macabre beauty, sir. But you should be more careful.
The nutrition of my mind is more important than my physical health. But I appreciate your concern, sir.
What are your thoughts on the terrible situation in this city?
Terrible, you say? No. Of course, the death of so many innocents is a tragedy. But the scourge has not been all bad for the city. Oh, no, sir.
What are you talking about?
Do you remember London before the flu? Noisy, cacophonic, quiet nowhere to be found. And now, listen to this oddly peaceful silence.
Yes. The enjoyable silence of the grave. You have a unique perspective on the situation, I must admit.
Most people fail to understand my perspective. I don't blame them. But how could I call myself a poet if I veiled my feelings?
Are you aware that your life could be in danger in this part of town?
But this is where I must be to feel the real beat of the city. I had to come, see it for myself, alone.
If some misfortune came upon you, who would be here to help you?
Well, you, for a start, my dear doctor.
I understand your need for solitude, but it's not safe around here.
I don't care. I don't have many friends, Doctor, and my family despises me.
Alright, seems like this guy's made up his mind.
Tell me, Mr. Nethercott, why seek inspiration in Whitechapel?
The place is not beautiful per se, but how to explain it? Stirring and challenging.
Do you not think it a little morbid?
On the contrary, sir. Whitechapel is full of life, full of beauty. Just like my dear muse, the wonderful Camellia.
What can you tell me about Camellia?
Not much, and that's the beauty of it. She can't speak, you know. She's a locked mystery who exhales kindness and sweetness.
And have you ever tried to learn more about her? Where she lives, how she survives, whom she may know?
Maybe I prefer she remains an enigma. Reality can be so dull, don't you think?
Perhaps you're just afraid to find out the truth about your muse.
One day, perhaps, I'll ask her to come with me. But will she still be my wild flower of Whitechapel if she moves uptown?
In what way, exactly?
The struggle by gaslight, the barren smiles and the arid hunger under the rain.
If you say so.
Such vibrant antagonism and vivid paradox. The stripped humanity raged across each street.
Vivid, of course, yes. And what about the poignant distress?
Oh yes, the poignant distress. You see what I mean, don't you? That's what I want to write about, and that's what Whitechapel is made of.
Well, shit. I mean, I guess I'm not really one to talk, given my channel being what it is, but this guy's just gone right off the cliff.
Did you know the Mute Florist is a member of a secret society?
No, I didn't. But I thank you for this information, sir. For it only enriches the mystery surrounding the precious camellia.
Are you not curious? Is there not more you wish to know?
That girl has not an ounce of malice in her. Whatever she may be hiding, it's certain to be for the benefit of most, if not all.
I fear you are a hopeless romantic, Mr. Nethercott.
Guilty as charged, Dr. Reed.
May I ask you a few questions about the district?
Extraordinary part of town, is it not? I'll be glad to help you, if I can.
I'm looking for Dorothy Crane, a nurse who lives in this vicinity.
Dorothy Crane. Oh, I love the name. The Crane of Whitechapel. Sounds very mysterious. But, sorry, no, never heard of her.
What can you tell me about an old man called Darius?
Darius Petrescu? Yes, I know him. At first, I thought he was only a small publisher. I invited him to publish my work, but his reaction was pretty clear.
Not interested in your talent?
Darius is an old political activist who takes delight in printing tracts and lampoons. Those communist activities only require mediocre writing skills.
So, all three ends unlocked then. Darius is the right arm of Dorothy Crane. Darius is a former Romanian political activist. And also, Darius does not want to see his children anymore to avoid being a burden to them. Connected to Richard Nethercott and Camellia.
I'll leave you alone, sir.
Darius is a bit less of a mystery now. It should not be that difficult to incite him to let me in.
You. For there is no protection against malevolence and
You pay for peace of mind. Can't you just look the other way this week, Joe? Come on, we can sort it out, right?
It's not my call, Barrett. You pay one way or another.
Please, Joe. How long have we known each other? We even used to be neighbours, for Christ's sake.
I'd prefer not to give you another beating, Barrett.
Cheap price, good quality. Come on, take a look. Don't be afraid.
Alright, what just happened?
Fancy buying something, sir?
You never lose your focus, do you?
Nah, it's just
goodbye for now.
Joe character I'm more intrigued with. I was hoping you could maybe tell me something a bit more about him.
I should never have taken up my father's business.
Excuse me, sir. I have a few questions for you.
Another journalist? I didn't answer the first one, so piss off!
I'm not a journalist, I'm a doctor.
A doctor, you say? It's quite a rare breed in this part of town.
Really? But still, here I am. Dr. Jonathan Reed, at your service.
I'm Joe Peterson's son, but Colossus Joe to most. And I don't remember asking for your service, sir.
Fuck it, let's just cut right to the chase.
How did you become the local bully everyone is afraid of, Joe?
There's no pride in roughing up poor bastards. But this is the only job I've found. And it pays well, too.
A job? So you're racketeering for someone else?
I got enlisted by the Wet Boot Boys, a gang from the docks. I'm their muscle for their dirty work.
Dirty work, even.
Most people don't become thugs when unemployed. This is a choice you made.
I don't care what you think, sir. I do what I have to do for my own reasons, and that's that.
I'm not sure Mr. Lewis would agree with your by all means necessary philosophy, sir.
Oh, do you really think he's the poor victim here? Barrett can be as sneaky as anyone. Long ago, I even called the bastard my best friend.
May I ask what you do around here?
I do whatever I want, and sometimes even more. Now sod off.
According to you, physicians are scarce in this part of town. Why is that?
Not familiar with this neighborhood, are you? I guess your fancy colleagues are too afraid of being stabbed in the back.
This part of town does have quite a reputation. Would you say it's justified?
Totally. Look at me, for instance. I always look my opponent in the eye before knocking him out.
Ooh, looks like we've got a real badass over here.
Harry doesn't seem happy living in Whitechapel. Why did you make him come here?
I've always put my son's interests above everything else, whatever he may think. Our house is small but affordable. The walls are thin, but the door is solid.
You really love your son, don't you, Mr. Peterson?
He's my pride and joy. Even if he hates me for the choices I make and pushes me buttons more than he should.
Since the criminal nature of your job means you could be arrested, are you not afraid of what would happen to your boy if you were?
No one will ever take my son away from me. If that ever occurred, I'd hunt the bastard down and rip off his head with my bare hands.
Do you have any regrets?
Only one. Not to have my beloved wife by my side. She died when Harry was little. My sweet Jane. She gave the boy confidence.
Have you heard of a nurse named Dorothy Crane? She's a colleague of mine, and is supposed to live around here.
Dorothy Crane? Yeah, I know her. One of the few good souls who dare to help the sick around here.
Could you please tell me more about her?
She's a nice girl. Tries to help the migrants. I offered to give her a hand, but she said my reputation would attract too much attention.
Goodbye, Mr. Peterson.
Alright, with that out of the way, I'm afraid that's about all the time I have for tonight, people. So, thanks for watching. See you again next time. And once again, dildo.